Hey everybody, it's your girl DJ with Plan for Keeps, dating app and podcast. And today I have a special guest, Q. He is an artist and a reptile enthusiast. Today he is here to speak on a lot of different things regarding dating and relationships. How are you today?
Doing great. I'm doing great. I'm blessed to be here. How are you?
I'm good. You gotta tell me about this reptile.
Yeah, this is my girl Sapphire. She's a ball python. She's really active. They're not normally this active, but she's really active today.
Okay,
Just filling out her environment.
got you. Okay, she good, right? She don't bite. She ain't gonna leap over here, right?
No, she not. She might do a little slither, might sniff you out, but she good.
Jesus Christ. Okay, y'all. So we're gonna see how this goes. So in the introduction, I said that you are a reptile enthusiast and an artist. First, you have your reptile with you. So I want to dive into how you got into animals and how you work with animals.
I got into animals I've been into animals since I was little. Like I just watch animal documentaries or read little books about them and stuff. But really the main thing is I got a snake for free when I was little and I wanted one real bad. And my mom kept saying no, and I told her we could start a business with it. And with that, I started taking that snake to festivals, charge people to hold it, take pictures with it, just to bring in income, help my mom pay some bills. And it just grew from there, from me getting more reptiles to from doing just events to photo shoots, and then started doing birthday parties and stuff. And then just
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And I know you've worked with some pretty big names here in the city as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay with naming a few or?
So I work with just like right now, just mostly streamers like Casanat, work with Jada Chiefs, just a few people. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I work with a good amount of people. I was like in a few music videos, like Lotto music video,
Okay.
Quavo music video, Scrub the Ground video. So I did a few things, but my main thing right now that I'm just trying to focus on is, if it's not music, my educational shows. So I do educational reptile shows. I go to kids' houses, like birthday parties,
Mm-hmm.
schools, daycares, and I just teach them about reptiles. So make it fun, engaging, entertaining, just like making core memories with them. But I also just started working for a nonprofit mental health company where I just like do workshops with the kids and just do different workshops where I interact nature. I
Okay.
like combine nature and my own personal healing and growth journeys to make like snake therapy workshops. So let it interact with
Oh,
animals, and, like
wow.
combine animals with healing.
I met a lady who works with rabbits specifically, and she described how rabbits are good with like healing therapy and stuff. How would you?
Her name Queen.
I think
Got a-
so.
Yeah, I know.
I think so. Yeah, she had a died rabbit, and she brought it to
Training her rabbit's good.
yeah, because she literally told us this rabbit would not move. So she left the rabbit in the back, and then she went to the front of the little conference that we were at, and she spoke, and the rabbit literally stayed still, like the whole. Yeah, she is fire. Okay, so for you, like with reptiles, how do you train them, like, or how do they help with healing?
So with snakes, people see it all the time. Like subliminally, snakes are spiritually known for healing. So you see it like in different medicines where it's like the like snakes going through like some things, or just like the snake eating itself. But in like foreign countries, they use snake as for therapy and massages because snakes have the ability to strip you from stress hormones and replace it with dopamine.
Really?
Yeah, so what I do is for my workshops I try to let the kids engage with the snakes by letting them hold it and talk. But like we do different workshops where like if the first one, if I'm just meeting them, I make the workshop about trust. And we try to see how snakes have to, especially when they shed, they go blind for a certain amount of time because
Oh,
they
okay.
shed over their eyes.
Okay.
So they have to trust their environment to be able to live throughout that shedding process. So then I try to see how they trust their environment. So how do they find ways to trust, or what can bring their trust? How do they gain trust? It's just stuff like that. So like adaptation, self-love, and just a bunch of stuff. And we just incorporate a lesson from reptiles, what they do in their world, and how we can incorporate it in ours.
That's so dope.
Just stuff
Okay.
like that.
That's dope. Okay. Now you also said that you're an artist, so you breaking into the music industry as well. Tell me a little bit about that and your decision in doing that.
Really, my friends just really been pushing me into it because I'm very creative. I like to sing. I play a few instruments, like I play alto saxophone, and like I just try to teach myself piano. Or I played upright bass when I was little, so I just always been into music. I like to sing and write, so my friends have been pushing me to make music, and I just love. So my main thing is just love music. She's being a hater.
It's okay.
I love music, so
Okay. So you talked about you love love. You talked about healing through animals. Um, you're an artist, you like to write. As far as all of your songs, like thinking of just your journey within dating, love, relationships, which one would you say would tie best to the lessons that you learned?
I feel like the first song I'm going to drop just tie back to everything. A lot of my stuff just having just like stuff to do with self-love and just overcoming things. But the first one's just slowing down. And I like sometimes we just got to slow down because I had to realize I'm not in my chapter where I'm supposed to find love from someone else right now, but it's just love coming from within. So I just got to do a lot of self-love and just really learn who I am. So then once I do that, I can realize how I want someone else to love me and how I can like if I allow myself to love myself fully, I can see how I want someone else to love me. And I know what boundaries to set and what just to be like, all right, if you ain't gonna do that how I want it, then someone else will.
What what practices are you doing? I heard boundaries, but as far as like self love and making sure that you're good with your self love before you put yourself out there, what other things are you doing, or if it's just boundaries, what boundaries are you practicing?
Really, I'm practicing like not people pleasing. I just naturally just want to make sure everybody around me is like okay or like just try to make sure like everybody's fully comfortable. But sometimes that can come off fast. I'm trying to put everybody in front of me. And like everybody say that, but I mean to I make sure like I'll make sure someone got 100% of me and I needed that 100%. So now I'm left with nothing.
Got you.
Or like so just putting into me and making sure like stuff like that. Or let me think of something else.
No, that's good. So, I'm not sure if you're dating now, but let's say if you were to enter into the dating like world scene, what would you do now versus back then?
Um, right now, I just um,
I know it's kind of tough, especially if you're not
yeah.
like fully in it, because I don't.
Like for example, like if I meet someone now that I am interested in, I know I'm not in that journey right now, so I just like have my attention set up front to where I learned that sometimes I can try to set my attentions, but I don't stick to them, or I'll set my
Yeah,
attentions with myself, but I don't like properly vocalize it. And now I knew my intentions, but I can't control someone's reaction to how I made them feel.
mm,
So like, just say we moved too fast and we did something sexual, and now it's like everything's all confused because we didn't have like we
the
let it get there, but also there was no communication before it got there. So
got you. Okay,
just
so okay, how are you handling that now? Do you make sure like you are setting the intentions up front? Are you making sure you want to wait? Like
yeah, I feel like right now I'm just at a stage where I'm not even stressing that right now. Like,
that's good.
yeah, it's just that's just I ain't stressing that right now. If I want a relationship, I want the other things that come with a relationship.
Got you. Is it because you focused on trying to grow as an artist? You trying to focus on?
Just trying to grow as myself. I feel like yeah, just trying to grow as myself in general, like learning myself, learning my emotions. I feel like sometimes we like enter sexual connections with people, we can just take on their emotions as well. And like some
Mm,
people already have a hard time dealing with their own emotions. So I was like, let me deal with mine and then just stay with myself. And then I'm gonna just meet somebody who's doing the same thing whenever the time aligns.
got you.
So we just at this, we know we at the same.
Do you think just because you're doing the same thing as somebody, y'all will be on the same page as far as dating and relationships? Or
Um,
how would you work through that?
I really don't know. I just know it's kind of cool to find like-minded people, but even if we don't like fully align with everything, I just like look at everything as a lesson. So like, even if it don't, it's like I got something I could take from them that I can apply towards the next person. I don't really look at it as like a dang, like I wasted time. Like
That's
I learned
good.
from them.
That's
So yeah.
good. That's good. Okay. Thinking of like a past relationship, you don't have to dig too deep. It sounds like I ain't trying to go too deep, but into the situation. But what would you say is one of the biggest lessons that you learned? And then how do you apply it today? Is it only the, okay, people pleasing and doing too much and setting boundaries, or was there a situation that happened and you had to really like learn a different type of lesson?
Um, I felt like in love because I wanted to feel it, but I wasn't feeling it for myself. So
Mhm.
like with the last thing, it was like it's like I was kind of doing that. I was kind of just chasing love from them, and they wasn't fully properly loving me right. And it was like I was kind of forgetting who I was. I'm like, so I was losing myself in the chase of their love.
Got
So
you.
just
Learning. So what type of boundaries do you set now that you didn't set back then?
still working on that. I
Really?
think just staying grounded in self and just not allowing myself to go fully into sewing because like we all have our own worlds. It's like we can be our own planets
Yeah,
and share the same universe without trying to combine our planets. Like if that makes sense.
that do make sense. I know for me, I suffer the same thing. I think I do at times, but again, centering myself in every decision that I make has helped me through people pleasing and putting people first. Because I know I've been in situations in relationships where I would try to set a boundary or I would say no, but then the person would push and push and push anyway. And then back in the day, it would be me like, all right, well, I guess this is what I'm supposed to do. We're dating, we're in a relationship. But in reality, it was just draining me. So one thing I had to learn was centering myself in every decision. And now a red flag for me is if I set a boundary and if a person push, that's automatically a red flag for me. Even if you seem like the type that's like super nice and you still push boundaries, I feel like those type of people, they'll hold resentment.
Yeah.
If I'm making sense.
Yeah. And I guess to reflect off of what you just said, to go back to the last question, I guess something I can take into the next relationship is taking the red flag for what it is.
Ooh.
I told my homeboy that the other day. I was like, sometimes it's a red flag, and that red covered in glitter. It's still red.
It's still
The
red.
rod is covered in red diamonds. It's still a red flag.
Facts.
Just be some pretty red sometimes. You gotta give it like-
That's a fact. So you talk a lot about trust, but like your animals,
Yeah.
how have you learned to trust yourself? Because I feel like a big component in dating and relationships is also trusting yourself. So when you do see them red flags, or when you do get that feeling like, I don't know, to trust that feeling. So what things have you been working on to trust yourself?
Something. Sit with those thoughts and really just like sit there and meditate with those answers. Like pray on it and then just wait for an answer to come after that. Because if you ask, you shall receive. You just gotta listen. So just listening. Sometimes I'm hard headed. I think I know everything and I know the answer, but I be wanting to prove myself wrong. Like nah. So just trusting myself and just like listening, like actually listening.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Like, that's dope. Can you stop it real quick? Stop it real quick. I'm finna pull my questions out. People pleasers, or as they say, they come from a background, whether, I know for me, in my case, because I consider myself to be a people pleaser, both of my parents were there. They're still together, but my father was very dismissive. And with my father being very dismissive, I wanted to prove myself to men because I thought that's what you had to do. I'm curious to know a little bit about just your background and where you think maybe the people pleasing came from. I know you said that you like to make sure everybody's good, but just thinking of like just your roots and your childhood, where do you think that came from where you felt like you always wanted to make sure people were good?
I felt like even since I was little, like I think it's just like my environment. Like my mom had me like at the age of 16, and I know she was looked down upon because of that. Or like even like I go to school, people like, "Oh my, how old?" Woo?" So I know like from then to be like I gotta prove like I'm gonna be good. Like I'm gonna be a good dude. I'm gonna succeed because people already thought I wasn't because of that. Even like certain family
Wow.
members thought I wasn't because of that. So I feel like it could come from that, but also just like in every day, like just trying to like prove yourself the way they make society like the dream of reality. It's like you gotta try to prove yourself to the world.
Yeah.
But really, we're not going against nobody but ourselves. But in my head, it went from me trying to like even in school, I was like the broke kid, like had only 4 outfits to wear to school and stuff. So like I used to try to just act like I was rich or something, like act like I had money and I didn't. I watch some shit anywhere sometimes. Sometimes my clothes stunk, but I wasn't gonna admit it.
Yeah.
So just I feel like I can go come from that. Just childhood, like you said, just trying to prove or just trying to chase acceptance as well.
Got you. Okay. That make a lot of sense. And then your music, like I just heard you let me listen to another song. You need to release your stuff. Oh my goodness, go and say that. Butterflies. Um, you there's a lot of lyrics just about just how you love on a woman. Did you get to experience that through your father, or was it just something you saw like commercially how you're supposed to do it? Like,
It's like I kind of got both ends. So like my mom and my dad wasn't together, but like my mom, she was one of my little sister's dad for a long time. Sometimes I see certain ways of how should be treated, but then I seen the opposite of how she wasn't treated the right way. But then it's like sometimes with my dad, I kind of seen him. I don't know like the full ins and out, but like in his relationships, I saw how he treated a woman. But then it's like him and my mom wasn't together, so I don't really know everything. Like, but then also I got family in South Carolina. Like my great grandparents been together since like they was like in their 20s, or like my
wow,
great uncle and my great aunt. They've been together since they was 16. So like, I done seen both sides to it. Like I just like just love. I just love the idea of love and just loving each other and having somebody for you, or even if you're that somebody for yourself, just being able to have the experience of love. Even for my animals, like animals love on you unconditionally. If you treat them properly, they're gonna treat you properly. They're gonna love you how you love them, just like toddlers.
yeah,
It's like it's not nothing we have to learn. That's just something that comes.
got you.
So,
So now that you are growing, getting the self love that you need, so you can trust yourself to pick the right person. That's what I'm gathering. What type of qualities are you looking for now versus I want to know what you kind of were looking for back then, and then what you think you probably would look for now.
I feel like back then I was just looking for whoever was looking for me. I ain't gonna lie. Now I feel like, especially in my last relationship, I saw a lot of things in her. Like one, she did not like appreciate her family like that. And I like even like I got family that didn't do so good by me, but I don't really want to be with nobody who just like don't have a. I'm not gonna say don't have a good relationship with their parents, but like have like a certain amount of respect for their parents, no matter like which I go through. They're still the people who brought you in this world. So like someone who family oriented. Either it's just like their made up family, their their blood family. Just see that you have some type of like sense of family and love. Um, Someone who loves these. So I be everywhere. Like sometimes I want to go roller skating. Sometimes I want to go on a parking deck, play saxophone. Sometimes I want to go do some CrossFit. I be random. So like I want someone who got their own hobbies too. So it's not like we always got to be with each other.
Gotcha.
Sometimes I like being alone too. To someone who's understanding, and it's like just accept that. Sometimes like yeah, I like being with you. I'm affectionate. I like being in somebody's presence. But sometimes I like being just by myself. Like
Got you.
yeah. So
Can you imagine how you would balance that right now?
right now at this moment, or just like in general.
Just in general, like how can you picture that?
I mean, I feel like I can't. I feel like I dealt with some people where like I was talking to this one girl. She was okay with like me and her would talk like 3 times out of the week, and it's like I trust people. I give people that trust to like just
Okay.
understand like we don't have to talk every day, or we don't have to be around each other all the time. So just someone who's just kind of okay with that. Like if I feel like those relationships we living with each other, if I had like my own little office space area, like probably just go in there write journal, because even when I like to journal. I
Okay.
don't like being around people. Like I feel like they can't read my thoughts, but like I'm sitting here being vulnerable, writing in my journal. Like I don't like being in other people's presence. So
Hmm.
just stuff like that. Just have my own area. Like even if like I'm living with someone, like if I could just chill on the balcony for like 2 hours, listen to music by myself, like just stuff like that.
Got you.
Or like some people, like if you sit by me, we don't gotta talk. We can be next to each other and not talk. Like I got a
Mm,
brother like that, man. And we can chill for a whole day. We both on our phones. We just chilling. We just in each other's presence, just vibing.
interesting.
Yeah. So.
Got you. Would you say that you were a good communicator in your relationships in the past?
Nah. Okay, so yeah, that's something else I have to work on too, communication. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's where the people pleaser came in, because I'm trying to people please and I'm not even communicating
Yeah.
properly.
I
So,
get
yeah.
it. I know for me, it was until I got real mad and I done blew the hell up, and it was
Yeah.
too goddamn late. Yeah. So, how would you say you would work on that now? It sounds like you could still be a good communicator, even
Yeah.
with you needing that space. That
hmm I feel like my communication style is more reflective. So I feel like if we get in a disagreement, I don't like to argue. Like I don't like do all that yelling and stuff. So like we can both chill for a few minutes, and if we need to gather our thoughts, then we can come and talk about the situation.
that's healthy.
Where I feel like even like with my parents, like I say my mom for example, it's like well she get mad at me like when I was little, she yelling, she want to get this like she want to yell right now. It's like bro, I got too much going on in my mind to be going back and forth with all this. So like, even just with girls, like I don't like doing that back and forth yelling. Like, if you want to yell, go calm down, get your thoughts together, then we can come and conversate. So
That's something I still got to work on too.
Yeah. Some people respond with emotion instead of logic, and emotion sometimes can like blow up. It's like Mentos in the Coke.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay. So how long of a time do you normally need? Because I feel like there's a fine line between that. Like you're like, okay, we need to chill, and then somebody, since we talking man and woman, the man, for example, will be like, all right, I need a few minutes, and then that few minutes turns into stonewalling, and then days. What does that look like for you?
I feel like it can be a few minutes. Just like,
what's a few minutes though?
It really just depends on the situation. Like if it's something that make me mad, or I feel like I can yell at you, just let me calm down my nerves. Like I don't gotta like feel like I'm finna tweak out, but like just let me calm down my nerves. So I don't know, like it even be like 30 seconds, like 2 minutes, like you stump your toe on something, like you gotta take a few deep breaths before you yell. So like just sometimes you gotta take that deep breath, take that woosah.
Okay, so it just depends on the situation.
Yeah, it just depends on the situation. Cause some situations you can get ghosted, but like it just depends on what they did. Like some people do some messed up stuff.
So you just completely ghost them?
Nah, I wouldn't do that. But some people deserve that though.
Yeah,
like, some people deserve it. Even dudes, some dudes deserve to get ghosted. It depends on what you do to somebody.
It's true. Well, you can tell.
Sometimes conversation can't validate what they did.
Now I agree with you there, but I'm wondering how long in like you talking to them would you just ghost them?
Yeah.
Or because some people will, y'all be in relation, maybe done talk for a month. You done invested a whole month, and you're like, nah, she's not. Yeah.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
And sometimes you do got to talk it out, but you can talk it out and agree to disagree and go your separate ways.
You definitely
So I feel like, so you're right, communication is still important, even if like we're not agreeing. Like that's something else too, communication. Like I want to like be able to communicate with someone who can agree to disagree. We don't have to agree on we don't have to agree on the idea of it. Just know that like, we don't have to disrespect each other because we don't agree.
Got you. Now I want to ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had a disagreement and you wanted to disagree to go your separate ways, but the person would push to try to still remain together?
Yeah. So like my last little situationship, like it was a relationship technically, but it wasn't even that long. It's probably like 3 months. So I was moving too fast. I say I got to stop moving so fast because I didn't know that person enough for us to be together within like that 3 months. But
you don't have
distracted with her.
No, that's okay. So the question was basically, have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to talk it out and let them know where you stood on what they did, but then and you wanted to go your separate ways, but then they came back and they pushed the boundary and they still wanted to be with you?
Yeah, I feel like I forget. So the last little situationship I was in, it was certain things where we just didn't agree on, or she was very dismissive of what I had to say, but when it's something she had to say, I had to see her way, and it was like at a point where like I couldn't come through how she wanted me to, and I physically couldn't. So she wanted to end things, and then when I was okay with it, she was like no, come like she pulling me back in, but me, I came back in, but. That happened a few times, so I had to realize if we're pushing away, it's like now we're trying to force it to be together.
Right.
That's the boundary, too, that I'm trying to set with myself. If something's not meant to be, stop trying to force it.
Okay. So now, because I was watching this other podcast, and they talk about, not saying that she was a narcissist, but people, narcissists or people who don't understand boundaries, right? If you end up in a situation like that again, in the podcast, they actually suggested you don't try to go back and forth with them. You actually just cut it off and you move on because they're the type that don't understand. They wouldn't understand. Do you agree with that?
I kind of do because I kind of just went through that. I was talking to this girl and she did something like, I understand you got like we're not dating nothing, so I'm pretty sure she's talking to other dudes. It was at a point where like she texted me she wanted to hang out, and I texted her like, yeah, what's up? And she didn't text back, so I called her, and she would hit me up until like the day we were supposed to hang out. She didn't hit me up that whole day. She waited till the next day to try to call me, be like, hey, what, and like it's in my head, I'm like, she's probably with another dude because she posted on her story like she went on the walk, someone else recording it.
Oh wow!
So I'm like, and me, I'm a detective, so she told me like, yeah, when we go out, you're gonna have to record me. So I'm like, she probably said that to the other dude too. So I'm like, I'm not tripping. We're not in a relationship. I told her, I was like, bro, if there's a day you don't want to talk, I'd overthink. So don't have me like just sitting there thinking, like, just communicate that with me. Even if you with another dude or something, you don't got to break it down to me. Just let me know, hey, I ain't trying to talk today. Woo-doo-doo-doo. Especially if we had plans. And she was like, see, now you being crazy. Woo-doo-doo-doo. You trying
Oh,
to.
that gaslight.
She was gaslighting. And then she was showing me traits that the last person I was dealing with showed me. I ain't gonna lie, I just blocked her. Not at that moment, but like it kind of happened again. I was like, all right, this is not the person for me. And I blocked it. You're not finna keep it. Just,
So I agree with what that podcast was saying. Now,
Yeah.
this was a well-renowned psychiatrist, psychologist. I don't know her exact title, but she works with people who have dealt with narcissists, like, and as far as like the narcissistic relationships that really just like crumble your mind. So she's the expert. But I feel like we should be able to set a boundary and then walk away no matter how hard they push.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we work on our boundaries and on ourselves, like in situations like that? Or you just forget that. You just fine with blocking and keeping it moving.
wait, can you break that down one more time?
So for me, I don't agree. Even though I know the person who spoke on this, she's a well-renowned, like, world psychologist, and she works specifically with people who have dealt with narcissists and narcissistic abuse. I just feel like, how do we work on setting our boundaries and being so in tune with ourselves? If we know the person ain't right for us, how do we stand on that? Like, especially if you, so
I feel like sometimes you just gotta express that with that person, but I don't know, me, I just had to block because she was pretty too. So like I was she wanna hang out. I'm like, all right, but nah,
okay, so no,
yeah,
okay, so now,
I just blocked.
So-
So I feel like walking away good for some people, but I gotta walk away, block and delete the number. I don't need to be able to find the number. Like nothing. Leave it alone. Delete the contact, block the number. She ain't blocked on Instagram, but I don't even remember the Instagram name. So
so it worked out.
yeah.
Okay, so because you are the type that probably will reach out to see how she doing, see how things going, even after
Yeah,
a situation
probably.
like that.
I don't know. Sometimes life is like a movie. Sometimes I like to see what other people's stories looking like. So I don't know. So, probably
So you still fall hard for real.
they be seeming like they match me. They match my vibe. But they can't just be pretty. But they gotta have some like essence to themselves. Like they gotta have some
Yeah.
personality and all that. They just gotta have personality. Sometimes they have personality, but they got more than one personality. They got some narcissistic ways too, or like they just it's a lot.
Got you.
But yeah, they can't just be pretty. Cause like pretty girls, no personality. She ain't even pretty. She's just a face.
Oh, no, that's good. Y'all young dudes are leaning in that direction. Okay, so ghosting is okay then, basically, depending on the situation.
Yeah, depending on the situation. I feel like it's like everybody seems like it's just taboo not to ghost. Like some people ghost me, I just don't take it personal. I got ghosted one time.
Really? So you don't take it personal?
A little bit, but I try not to. I read this book called The Four Agreements. And one of the agreements is don't take anything personal.
I think so, because at the end of the day, nothing really is about you. It's always about the other person.
Yeah.
Even if if you know you didn't do nothing wrong, even if it was something with them where they made up in their mind it was something about you that wasn't a fit. If you know you didn't do nothing wrong, it's more about them
Yes.
than you.
Yeah, that's what they say. Don't take nothing personal. The way people treat you is just how they feel within. They're going to reflect that onto you.
That's a fact.
So I don't say nothing personal. So
That's a fact. Okay. We're going to dive into some of these questions. So my first one for you is, what's a red flag people might see in you? And I know that'd be hard for a formal people pleaser to answer, because ain't nothing a red flag about me.
I feel like red flag, like people may see me as people have seen me is like my communication or me not knowing what I want. Like
Yeah.
I tell her, like one time I told a girl, like I don't think we should talk. Like she just like our personalities didn't mesh and stuff, but really I just seen like we just wasn't good for each other. She perfect for someone else, but not for me. But then I went back. Like just trying to talk to her 'cause I was just bored or something, which isn't right, but just not knowing what I want. So that's what I'm working on.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's
Indecisiveness, not knowing what I want.
got you. So how are you working on that now? You got a lot going on, so I'm like, how you bored? Or was that before you had a lot going on?
Yeah, it was like kind of in between. It's kind of fading out of that. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. How do you feel your life would be different if your emotional needs were met as a child or weren't met? Or do you feel like all your emotional needs were met?
I felt like my emotional needs were probably met as a child. It probably was just I probably just had like a sense of self faster,
Okay.
or it's probably a type of sense like just a sense of self faster and like fully knowing who I am without trying to know how I am to everybody else. I'm not trying to say I am to everybody else's eyes, but just know who I am to me.
That's a good one. What gives you the ick in a relationship?
I guess an ick in a relationship. Man. I'm trying to think. I don't really know. Probably
Nothing gives you the ick.
what's it called? When they say they don't like something, they do it.
When you say that and they do it anyway?
Yeah, like they say they don't like something that someone else do and they do it. What's that word again?
I don't even know.
I'm having a brain fart right now.
So you a hypocrite?
Yeah, someone who contradict themselves. Yeah, hypocrite.
Yeah, I don't like a hypocrite neither. Oh, that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a hypocrite. Okay. If you could change your relationship with a family member, who would it be and why?
Recently I've been working on a relationship with my dad. It wasn't bad, but it was just like it wasn't there for real. It wasn't fully there. I don't really remember why, but that's probably I really got nothing else to change. So I'm pretty like that one family member. I'm just cool with everybody. I'm cordial with everybody. Like family got family beef. I'm still gonna say what's up to both the people who beef and just go along about my day. Like I'm really my family. I'm pretty much just good with everybody now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. My last question for you. What is something that people normally do in relationships that you don't want to do in yours?
I don't know. That's a good one. 'Cause I'm trying to still figure out what do people do in their relationships.
A lot of people, like you mentioned that you don't like you need your alone time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to be in their partner's skin. I don't know if that's something you don't want to do, or if it could be something like even more not traditional. Like people are okay with. I know one for me. I don't have an issue with my man being friends with females.
Yeah.
Like I trust my man, but there's a lot of women who would be like, hell no.
So I say that I guess I can go with that then. I feel like just allowing I like have friends with the opposite sex. Just like boundaries got to be there though.
Yeah.
You got to be boundaries and just a certain amount of respect for your significant other. Like if you know that person probably like trying to make it more than platonic, then you should know to just leave that alone and communicate that.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, I think that's it. I feel like something I do want to bring in relationships, like find someone I can pray with. Like if we can like we can pray together, then that's what I want.
That's what you want.
So like I feel like that's something people don't normally. I don't know. I know people my age don't really look for that with a person. So I know that's something I want to do. Look for someone I can pray with, and someone people look for someone they can grow with. But if y'all growing with God and other things around, then I feel like it'd be small.
I feel like a lot of people is going in that direction. Like, yeah, I want somebody I can pray with. I want somebody who believes in God. It seems like a lot of people are moving. It's at least in my generation, because I think I'm a good bit older than you. But I don't think. Yeah, I think you're right. Like the younger generation, not so much as far as like God for real.
Yeah.
So
even if they don't like the word God, just like a higher power, I feel like they have a creator. I know the last person I was kind of dealing with, I noticed till later on, she was like, "I kind of don't believe in God." I was like,
oh,
dang. I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody have their own journey, but I want somebody who kind of like where I'm at, to like they consistently want to pray and they have like a connection with the higher power, just have their own connection.
it would be really hard to be with somebody who doesn't have any type of like spirituality, and then you do.
Full of man.
Yeah, or even you try to just grow yourself and let them be. I think that would be hard, like having like conversations with them about just your faith, what you believe in, how you think God is moving in your life, and they looking at you like, that would be
hard.
That'd be really hard. That would be a boundary if I was you. Like,
that is a boundary. Because something else I do, my grandma's like an ordained minister for like the spiritual living, and something I'm about to start back doing is being like a teen advisor and stuff.
Oh,
So what that is, like, I'm teaching teens how to grow grow their faith in however they believe and just grow their spirituality. But it's like, if I'm doing that already, I want to do that in a relationship. I want someone who's like kind of doing that with themselves, because we all have our own journey and we can just come together instead of I'm trying to be a teacher too and a boyfriend.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Okay.
College students can't date their professors.
Right. Right. Okay, awesome. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the
For sure.
show
I want to thank you
today.
for having me. Thank you.
Yes, this was good. Tell the audience where they can find you.
Is y'all can find my Instagram at im.frequency, my business page with all the animals at Q's Animal Kingdom. And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have all of those links in the show notes. Again, Q, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank
you and what you said the reptile name was? What's her name?
What is her name?
Is it Sue? Did you say Sue?
Her name is.
Well, I want to thank both of y'all for coming. I'm glad she didn't attack me.
I just got like 4 at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Or do they all look alike?
Nah, they all just got all their names got something to do with the crystal. What's her name?
You said her name in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Well, I want to
I'm
thank.
sorry, girl. She know I love her.
I slick on her pat her because she seemed cool, but
She feel like a purse.
okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Well, I want to thank both of y'all for coming on.
Sapphire.
Sapphire, that's right.
Yeah, Sapphire. I'm sorry, girl. That's very rude of me. Brain fart.
No, that's okay. And until next time.
Yeah.